for 5 minutes.
Speaker, I rise today to mark the passing of an incredible individual. He was a teacher and friend of mine, and he was known to the world as the father of modern management. I'm referring, of course, to Professor Peter Drucker, who passed away last Friday at his home in Claremont at the age of 95. And when I spoke to his wonderful wife, Doris, early Saturday morning, the first thing she said, of course, was that Peter led an incredibly full life, which we all know that he did. I was able to, as an undergraduate, because of this great structure at the Claremont colleges that allows for cross-registration among the 6 different colleges, to begin taking classes as an undergraduate with Professor Drucker, and then, of course, going on to the graduate university there, I did the same. His words and his wisdom have had a profound effect on my strong beliefs in personal responsibility, free markets, the power of entrepreneurship, and, of course, the very healthy and important skepticism of the effectiveness of sprawling government bureaucracy. I remember having dinner with him just a few years ago, and he was talking about an Italian observer who said, the greatest threat to the future of Italy is efficient government. He was a genius. He was a genius who generously shared his talents, his kindness, and his time with so many of us. For a man of such unparalleled vision and capability, he had a wonderfully disarming sense of humor and an amazing humility. He was a world-class thinker and a provocative, as we all know, prolific writer. When he was just 23 years of age, living in Germany, he wrote an essay that was both outlawed and burned by the Nazis. And when he was 30 years of age, his first book, The End of Economic Man, was made required reading for graduates of the British Officers Candidate School by Winston Churchill. All told, he wrote over 30 books that sold millions of copies around the globe and influenced business leaders, social pioneers, and heads of state. Now, the great thing was that while he had the ears of the world's top leaders in both business and government, he maintained his strong commitment to teaching. He put great emphasis on individuals and their contributions to large organizations in society. He saw employees as a company's most valuable resource, and in working together toward a defined goal, its greatest source of progress and change. Mr. Speaker, I couldn't agree more. He also believed that the highest standards of ethics and morality were essential to both a successful enterprise and a vibrant society. Being a good corporate citizen was a duty on par with, and not at odds with, maximizing profits. Later in his career, he devoted much of his time to studying community organizations because, in his words, the 21st century will be the century of the social sector organization. The more economy, money, and information become global, the more community will matter. He donated his expertise to a wide range of organizations, the American Red Cross, the American Heart Association. The results of his advice and leadership have played a role in responding most recently to Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. His groundbreaking work resulted in many accolades and many opportunities to share his thoughts. In 1987, Claremont named its Graduate School of Management in his honor. He was a regular economist for the Wall Street Journal for 2 decades, from 1975 to 1995. He was bestowed with 25 doctorates from universities in Europe and here in the United States. And in 1990, he created the Peter Drucker Foundation to bring together business and social leaders. One of the great thrills for me was I was able to be with Professor Drucker and his wonderful and extraordinarily talented wife, Doris, in the East Room of the White House when President Bush, in 2002, bestowed the Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian award in our country, on Professor Drucker. The Economist magazine, one of my favorite publications, called him the greatest thinker management theory has ever produced. In his book, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Dr. Drucker described entrepreneurs as those who create something new, something different. They change or transmute values. By his own definition, it is clear that Dr. Drucker was an intellectual entrepreneur. I mentioned this dinner that I had with him just a few years ago. I had the thrill of spending 3 hours with him, and we talked about the impact that he had on so many people. The Los Angeles Times recounted that great entrepreneur Jack Welch, who headed General Electric, is saying that the turning point in large part came for him when Professor Drucker asked him the question, if you were not doing exactly what you're doing today, would you begin doing it? Which was a very, very important point in determining what the future of General Electric was going to be. I also remember our former colleague Amo Houghton often quoting Peter Drucker when he said, every brilliant idea ultimately degenerates to hard work. He was an amazing individual. He was a man of great warmth and accomplishment, and I will miss him personally, and I know the world is better because of his life. And my thoughts and prayers are with Doris and their wonderful children and grandchildren, and I will simply say to Professor Drucker, thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you have done to improve the quality of life for so many. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.